everyone, Michelle Fixed It. This video is going to be on how to change your tire and where your spare would be located. If you have a car and you look under here in your trunk, this is where your tires should be. If you have a truck, it'll be in a different spot. So let's use the Trailblazer as an example of an SUV. The Trailblazer is under here. So this is her hitch. Hers is under here. If you open the back, there's typically a little port, and in the little cubby over here, somewhere in the vehicle, they'll have a little cubby, and you pop that open, and that should have things to be able to stick in here and twist it and everything else. I'll use Big Sexy as a quick example. Big Sexy is my Ram, to show where hers is. But hers would also should be undercarriage. If you have a Jeepy Jeep, I don't have one. I have a Jeepy Jeep. I don't have Jeeps. They like to have them right out in the open, like there. That's where the tire is supposed to be. But alas, there is no tire there because she starts and she runs, but she does not stop. So she is not road ready. Ram, she's right there, and she's rusty. So that is an assortment of 1, 2, 3, 4 different tire things. Alright, so to change your tire, first you have to locate your spare, which we've already done. You have to be very concerned about buggies attacking tires. And your next step that you're going to do is you're going to remove your tire from whichever situation you have it in. For the car, which is our application, we lift this up. I don't have a selfie stick here today. Twist this off. Twist, twist, twist. I don't even have nails. This was an impromptu trip. Hi, Jim. Good, how are you? Alright, remove those guys, and then pick it up. I'm going to pause you guys.
Okay, that's nice, Izzy.
What?
He probably ripped his paint. What's that? No.
So we pull the tire out, and it is actually a donut. So you can tell height-wise, it's good, but the width of it is absolutely too short. So what we are going to end up doing with this situation is we're in a situation where we have to change it. That's a given. But we are going to order a spare rim, and whenever we get the 2 new tires for the front, we will keep the tire that is okay-ish, and we're going to throw that in the back as the spare. And then we will not have a donut because the other vehicles don't have them.
Yeah.
Oh. We have a neighbor out. But, you too! Alright, so we're going to get down to it. Casual chit-chatting aside. So we are going to turn the vehicle off and jack it up so that we can, or we're going to break the lug nuts first after we turn the car off. Beep, 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 beep. Oh, are you going to do this? So I will not be doing this, but normally I have to do this stuff. So he is going to break all the lug nuts before we jack up the vehicle. See, I have to use my feet, but Husband Cat has strong arms, so Husband Cat just uses his arms.
Well, are we going to replace the rear tire first and put the donut on?
Yes, so you can, the other tire, so when you're doing a rotation, you're going to do an X. And so what you're going to do is the passenger rear tire is actually going to go here in the front, so the driver front tire, and then the passenger rear no, the driver rear is going to go to the passenger front. So it's an X pattern. So right now, he's braking the ones on the rear. And he's saving my feet in the process. Because I would be using a four-way, and I would be using my feet. Because leverage. No, so babe, this tire is not the tire that comes off for that tire. It's actually this passenger tire right here. So this tire comes off first, and then we change it. And it is worth noting that in this situation, you want to make sure that you have adequate tire pressure in your donut or your spare or whatever, because whatever the age of your vehicle is, that's going to be the age of your tire probably. So in this instance, this is a 2012, so that is a old donut, so it is not going to be good to drive for very long at all. Donuts, you really shouldn't do over 50 miles per hour, and you really shouldn't use them very long at all. General rule of thumb that a lot of people like to state is about 100 miles. So we will be ordering tires urgently and getting them placed and everything. And he already broke those lug nuts while I was talking. And this is like so weird for me because normally this is all my stuff that I do. All right, and now we're in jack placement. So do you know where your location for your jack should be?
On the frame. Should be notches.
So these little notch guys, if you have a car or a newer vehicle, you have these little notch guys right here. They're there on purpose. These are your jack spots. So you have one right here, note that divot, and then you have one right here. So somebody's putting your vehicle on a lift, they're going to be using one of those two guys, and on the other side they're in the same locations. So you're going to line up your little circle guy if you have this. If you don't, you can refer to your manual, and your manual will have you using your little zipper jack. And while he is placing that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys how to use a zipper jack. So we pulled it out, but we don't, since we're at home, we're not going to be using it. I don't know, I think that's what they're called. I call them zipper jacks. You have zipper jacks, and then you have whatever the other little jack is called, I can't remember. The Trailblazer.
Bottle jack.
Bottle jack. The Trailblazer, I know, has a bottle jack. And so this guy just goes up. You turn it one way, and it goes down. You turn it the other way. Pretty simple. And it should be, try and do this one-handed, it should be, oh goodness, that this guy, when you go to pull it out, oh, I'll show you guys a trick. So that's guy, see? See, so if you don't have a little thing like Husband Cat had, this is what you would be using. It will not come as freely off, but that's one of those handy dandy little things. I'm assuming that they have this as part of their design because vehicles like the Trailblazer, I don't know if I don't think Big Sexy has it. Yeah, so vehicles like the Trailblazer have lug nut caps, covers. So this little guy, man, she needs a bath. This little guy would be for popping that off. And look at that, same size. But this is not the standard equipment that the Trailblazer comes with. She comes with a bottle jack. And if you have to put these guys back on, you look for that divot, you match that divot to this divot. Pacha. I don't know why it's so yucky. I gotta fix that. Kitchen is calling. All right, Husband Cat came up with a very valid point. So on this bottle jack, if you see this recession right here, that's where it's going to go on that little divot that I was showing you earlier. He has big standard kind of jack. And so he was asking about placement because there's a bunch of plastic under this guy. And so if you put this thing in the wrong spot, you're going to be messing your stuff up. So right now I'm trying to turn it down as fast as I can to show you guys the intended placement for this. Because I didn't know this. I'm used to standard jack points, which I could show you on the Ram, the Trailblazer, the Jeep, whatever. So for this vehicle, you line that divot up with this spot right here, okay? And look at that, they snug up, perfect. And right now I am I was hand bringing the car up. But that's how that goes, okay? All you old timers out there, looking at you, Jeep, looking at you, Ram, they changed it up a little bit. You gotta get with the times. All right, for the sake of filming, we are going to show you guys so yeah, you can do it that way, or you can like do the arm thing and then twist it and stuff like that. Yes, that's its intended purpose. Husband Cat's like, nope, you're dropping it. Yeah. Husband Cat's like, nope, I'm gonna use the ratchet. Tiz works. So if you guys have a ratchet available, you can do it this way. And I have to keep saying this is very weird for me because I am not normally... Oh, did you hit something in the car?
Yeah, probably the stones at the end of the driveway back in.
Goddess. For all you guys watching at home, this is the one vehicle that the husband, Cat, and I share. Because I am very, very, very possessive of my vehicles. And husband Cat is not super, super mechanical, which I am not super, super mechanical, but I am fairly mechanical. So he gets to learn about things and he gets to do a lot of the heavy lifting for me sometimes, which is always weird because I'm used to just doing my own stuff. Like I climb in the engine bay and we'll be working on stuff. Speaking of which, you guys are probably going to get a spark plug video out of me pretty soon because I got to change my spark plugs on my Trailblazer. It's starting to feel a little funny. And husband Cat is doing what he's supposed to be doing. He's trying to see when he has clearance. You want to look for that rotation, and then you want to be able to stick your fingers underneath it, but don't keep your fingers underneath it, you know. But that way you can get the tire out. All right. He's trying to be overly cautious because he knows that his wife Cat will yell at him. But if you're on the road, you will have to use that. Just know that you have to do everything rather fast. For posterity's sake, will you use this at least on a couple of them so that the people trying to learn with the video... You did break those, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And that's all you do if you're using your equipment that comes with the vehicle. If you have a four-way, you use a four-way. I keep a four-way in every vehicle that I have. Do you have a four-way in your truck?
No, I just have a wrench for the same size as the lugs.
Oh. I like four-ways because then you can help people. And if you notice that pattern pull off, is going from one side to the other side, and he will continue that pattern, and that is how you will be putting the lug nuts back on. Husband cat does learn. He does know things.
I have changed my tires before and rotated them.
I am going to reserve my comments for stuff. I love you so very much, husband cat. And what is the proper rotation for tires?
Crisscross, rears to fronts.
Mm-hmm. And did you always know that?
No. Because my father's had a diagram on his toolbox since I was a kid that showed that. Also with, if you have a full-size spare, how to put it in rotation as well.
And yet you forget that when your dad was working on your truck, I was like, you should probably help him. You were trying to put the tires from the front to the back. No crisscross.
It's gonna need more air.
There are people out here that do not know the stuff. And so when you admit that you once did not know the stuff, then it makes the other people feel better, because they are not the only people that don't know the stuff. Because not everyone had a redneck dad that was like, Macanas, if you're going to have a Jeep, you're going to have a real Jeep, and you're going to... Don't do it all the way down. You just do it a little bit in there. And I very tidily changed my oil and didn't get any oil on me somehow. And he took the plug and he drops it in the oil, and he was like, you gotta learn how to get your hands dirty. I'm sure he appreciates my imitation of his tone. Okay, and we are not done yet, because this has to come off, this has to have pressure applied to it, and then you have to tighten it again. And I will let husband cat tighten it, and then I will have husband cat show you guys how I would do it if I don't have, because I don't have the upper body strength that husband cat does, and he is making this look really easy with breaking the lug nuts and stuff.
I'll tape you doing it.
No, that's what I said, because I'm gonna show them how I use my feet and stuff. You're going up. You can use your ratchet trick again. That was interesting. All right, now that you have pressure, go ahead and go back to your lug nuts. Alright, so in the event that you are not like Husband Cat, you only have this available. Put it on there. You're going to use your foot, not your bare foot, but your foot. You see how much more I can twist it than he did with his arms? So if you have shoes on, whatever, hold right here so that you're not torquing down. Push down with your foot. If you are out on the road, you got to do it as tight as you can and hope that it's okay. Unless you're like a weightlifter, don't do it as tight as you can, because you can break off the studs, which are what these little guys are connected to. If you are at home, you have a torque wrench, you check the torque. It'll click. I guess I need to make a torque wrench video for you guys. But if you were on the road, you want it tight. Oh, right. So see? Husband Cat has really strong arms, but I got some really strong leggies. No, no, no. Torque wrench. You're not just gonna throw the drill on there. He got grumpy because he pulled this out. I don't know what the torque specs are for this tire. So this is the end of your video, so I can check the torque wrench stuff. You guys have a fantastic day, and I'll see you next video. Please like and subscribe. Bye.